It was fascinating, to say the least. Yeah, I had no idea what was involved. And then just from the minute we walked in, I was completely mind blown. It's like, wow, you know, just unfathomable amounts of catfish they go through, and then to see the ponds and the process, it's unreal.
It was definitely a learning experience. I've never seen one before, even though we have 2 local catfish companies in Greenwood. But that was something that I can relate to, you know, seeing the people in action, seeing them work, and it was a great experience for me.
As soon as it gets done with that, it goes in that chiller we were talking about. So I'm gonna walk y'all down, you can look at it, and when we get to the end, we'll talk again, but you just look at what you see there.
I got a question here. Yeah. What's the hook on his back and that thing up there for?
When he gets on the truck to unload the fish, he has to hook it to him so it doesn't fall off the truck.
The catfish operations at Simmons is beyond any live animal operation I've ever seen. I mean, the magnitude of what it is insane to me. I walked in and went, oh, you know, I thought it was like, you know, a family-run catfish place, which it is, but I didn't expect 200 employees in there working through catfish as fast as they can. It was really, really an impressive operation, and you know, it's cool to see that they're doing it, you know, from hatching the catfish all the way to sending it out the door. So they're not, you know, just buying it from somebody else and cutting it in-house, or they're not just growing the fish and sending it off to someone else to cut. They're doing it from the beginning to the end, so they can really, you know, put their name on that product and stand behind it. And I think that's super cool.
So just like a poultry plant, just like a beef plant, just like a pork plant, catfish is USDA inspected.
They're here every day?
Every day. Have their own office. Have the keys to this building. Yeah. Grader, we have a box in our bags. Even our bags, we have a lot number we have to write down.
I work in a seafood specialty restaurant, The Depot, and there we serve a lot of exotic fish. I've kind of shied away from some of the more common things. I haven't done salmon for the first 2 years, and then I finally started getting some very sustainable product. Finally, I'm looking at catfish. When I lived in Norfolk, Virginia, in the Chesapeake Bay Area, there's actually the blue catfish was kind of an invasive species. So we were challenged to come up with recipes as chefs there, kind of do a contest every year featuring that fish. So I like that particular species, but I hadn't been able to find it, that same fish farm. And now to come today and see that they actually use a kind of a hybrid of that very same sweet tasting catfish, and then the local indigenous catfish, and then the farming processes they have, make me feel comfortable that I can kind of bring that center of the plate in a new way, especially for this community who loves it, but mainly only had it fried. I think this is like a win-win.
As far as that little thing you see floating out in the middle, that's our oxygen monitor system. And it's sitting there on every 15-minute cycles. That little motor go around, a little brush, cleans the probe off, it gets a reading every 15 minutes. And so it's sending a signal to your cell phone, computer that's riding around in the truck, to the night man that's got to. Now those things are capable of cutting these aerators on. When it gets to a certain degree at night where we know, hey, that's a demand, we need to cut on so the fish don't get on a stress level. You ever stress the fish, it shows up later, either in the plant or the next day when you're trying to feed them. They're not gonna eat if they were stressed the night before.
I was blown away. I mean, just how quickly it's processed, the size of the operation, and how well it's managed, and just the whole process was great.
The quality, I mean, it's obvious that the women in there, I mean, you got women in there that could, you know, measure ounces with no scale, you know, and know what to do with it. It's obvious, you know, with all of the hands-on that goes on in the process. It's the real deal.
It just introduces you to regional products that are, you know, you may not know about. In my market, we're in Florence, Alabama. It's not like a big city, so it's really great to have someone bringing those products to us.
You need to come. You need to block the time, take the time off. It's a small investment, and it's going to be so rewarding for you just to kind of have the time to kind of energize your creativity, especially around the products that are available locally. We're gonna cook that kind of on a flat top plancha, just a little salt and pepper. Then we're going to take it off and sear some onions on there. Just a little salt, pepper, and olive oil. Pull those off, put that on top of the fish, and then we made a tomato, caper, green olive, a little bit of cinnamon, kind of a Veracruz sauce that we'll pour over the top of that. Pistachio butter goes with
the chef being busy, the farmer, or whoever being busy, and so it's a place where they can get together and learn about each other and talk and get to know one another, and that makes the product a little bit that much more special to the chef and consequently everybody that they serve it to.
We're here at the Chef's Camp to represent Genuine Mississippi. It's a brand new state branding program from the Mississippi Department of Agriculture and Commerce. And our whole purpose of this is to be able to promote our Genuine Mississippi products. We've brought a number of products with us from around 12 to 14 different Mississippi companies that the chefs can actually use when they're preparing their meal tonight. So we're really excited. It's a great way for the chefs to see what we have to offer in Mississippi, and also for them to actually use those products, hoping that they will take some of those back and use them in their own restaurants.
I would say it's a really cool opportunity to get together with some other chefs and hang out and talk and not feel the pressure of going to a traditional food event where we get together, but we're also trying to serve 1,200 people. This is a real opportunity to kind of spend, 8 to 24 hours together with other chefs and really let loose and talk about the opportunities and challenges that we see in our industry and how we can all propel each other in a positive direction.